Hi, this is Lucia with The Art of Love. I'm a dating and relationship expert specializing in helping you get your ex back or to get over your ex. As you can see from the title of the video, this is part 2 of the stages your avoidant ex goes through during no contact, which means, of course, there's a part 1. So if you haven't yet listened to part 1, I would suggest you do that, or this video will be a bit confusing. And after you've done that, then come on back. We'll still be here with part 2. And if you have listened to part 1, congratulations. This is part 2. But before I start, I want to welcome back my beautiful no contact army. Thank you so much for downloading the app Silencio. We are going to be adding a lot more features in the coming months, so be sure to keep the app updated. And of course, the link to that app is underneath every single video and podcast. And if you too would like to join our no contact army, all you have to do is hit the subscribe button and the bell notification, and you're in. And to read our manual, go to nocontactsecrets.com, where you can read 2 free chapters before you purchase the book. Okay, so for the next stage, which I mentioned at the end of part 1, sadness and missing you. This is the time when the breakup is starting to hit them. And by staying in no contact and allowing for the passage of time, their walls and defenses have started to come down. They're no longer feeling the negative emotions that they were feeling when they were with you or when they were in the anger, satisfaction, and relief stages. They're no longer feeling negative emotions when they think about you and are starting to feel the loss of the breakup finally. And they're now feeling the loss of the positive things that they were getting by being with you, since it obviously wasn't all negative, right? Or they wouldn't have been with you in the first place. At least I hope not. And this is where FAB kicks in, which I talked about in my video, 7 Reasons Why the No Contact Rule Works on Everyone. And of course, I'll put the link in the upper right-hand corner on YouTube. And FAB, if you didn't know, stands for Faded Affect Bias, which basically means that with the passage of time, people forget the bad memories associated with a person or a place or a thing, and they only remember the good. And you'll know they're in this stage because they'll start to like your photos more on social media, make more comments, view your stories faster. They may post things that are meant to get your attention, such as wearing something that you gave them or posting from a place that you guys used to go to. And this is also the stage where they will text you the famous "I miss you" text. And I recently saw a very funny response for that, which is when someone says, "I miss you," you respond with, "And whose fault is that?" Of course, that's not appropriate for everyone's situation or personality. So if you want to know how to respond to the "I miss you" text, I actually have a whole video on that. And I will place the link, of course, in the right-hand corner on YouTube, the upper right-hand corner. So you should congratulate yourself if you get the "I miss you" text. It means that you did things right after the breakup, because not everyone gets an "I miss you" text. If they don't want to be that vulnerable, they may text you with something that's an inside joke. They may also deliberately try to run into you and make it seem like, "Oh, it's just a casual run-in. Oh, what a surprise. You're here too." Yeah, right. And then we move to the next stage, which is confusion. What are they confused about? Well, they're confused because they can't stop thinking about you. They're still thinking about you. And they're also confused because you haven't chased them, right? You haven't chased them, right? And they wonder what you're up to. And they're probably going to assume that you're seeing someone else. Otherwise, why did you not chase them after they broke up with you? Or why did you stop chasing them after they broke up with you? Surely you're dating someone else. So when someone is confused and they're asking themselves a lot of questions, as Doc Love used to say, that question mark becomes a hook, which hooks them back in. And if you'd like to know more about Doc Love's wisdom, be sure to check out his book, The System, and I have the link to that underneath every single video. He's the one that I first heard talking about interest level. So they're going to assume that you've either moved on or are seeing someone else. And this is where the Phantom X makes its appearance, which I'll talk about in the final stage. And they'll also wonder if they made the right decision in breaking up with you. Their interest level is going to be at an all-time high since the breakup, and they're going to wonder if maybe they overreacted and if maybe the relationship can be saved. You'll also know they're in the confusion stage if they start to increase the level of communication with you, even if it's not romantic communication. So if you're in touch because you have kids together or you work together, there will be more interactions. And if you weren't in touch at all, this would be the time when they would attempt to make contact. There might be some light flirting because they're testing the waters, or they may look for reasons to hang out with you in a non-romantic way. And they may even tell you that they're confused if they're a fearful avoidant. And this is the stage in which they may come back, or at least attempt to, because if you're a regular listener, you know that we don't just take people back, right? We do not just let them sneak back in. And for more information on that video, or that, listen to my video titled The 6 Questions to Ask Your Ex When They Want You Back. They need to be the ones putting in the effort to try to get you back. Don't be the one trying to get things back on track, or they're going to lose respect for you, and you can't have love without respect. They ended it. They must be the ones to start it up again. So don't screw things up now that you're so close to the finish line. It would be like running a marathon and you're almost at the end and oops, you fall and you don't finish the race. Oh no. And keep in mind, while they're trying to figure out if they should get back with you, you should also be thinking and have been thinking about whether it makes sense to get back with them. Obviously, when they first broke up with you, you absolutely wanted them back because the breakup was usually a surprise. But once you've had the clarity of no contact and have taken a step back, sometimes you realize that maybe the relationship was no longer working for you and you don't want it back. And then we have the final stage, regret. And this is when they think they've lost you for good and you've moved on and they can't get you back. This is when they'll create an idealized version of a past partner. They'll compare new people to that idealized version. So if you had a deep connection with an avoidant, there's a good chance you're going to fulfill the role of the phantom ex, which I mentioned earlier. This will keep them out of rebound relationships or delay them from looking for new opportunities, which obviously is good for you. And this is where the term the one who got away comes from. However, the one who got away is usually the one who was pushed away. And it seems that men, more often than women, have some version of the one who got away. Keep in mind that they can't get to this stage unless they actually feel that they have lost you for good. And they can't think that unless you have stayed in no contact. And how will your partner behave if they're in the regret stage? Well, they will actually say, "Can we talk?" Or they'll try to engage with you through social media. If your ex is a fearful avoidant, they are in their fearful/anxious stage at the moment, which works in your favor, obviously. If they're dismissive, they won't be as anxious, but they will definitely be interested. The chances of your ex coming back in this stage are very high. And when they ask to meet up, you're going to wonder, well, how should I behave? And what do you know? I have a video on how to behave when you meet up with your ex. So I'll put that in the upper right-hand corner. So there you go. The stages an avoidant ex goes through during no contact. So now it's your turn. I want to hear from you. How long have you been in no contact and how is it going? In the meantime, if you would like my help to get your ex back, you can contact me at theartoflove.net and we will send you the rates. The direct link is below. They are not on the website. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. If you're listening to this as a podcast, please rate and review. And finally, remember, love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.